Well, good morning. Hello, my name is Gregory. If it is morning for you, good afternoon, good evening, whatever. I'm Gregory. This is 1 in 20 D&D, and this is DnDaily number 37. And this is take 2. For some reason, I'm trying to do these D&Dailies in like one good take, and I keep either getting interrupted or like a car drives by and makes some loud noise or something, like, whatever. Just stuff keeps happening that is preventing me from getting through these in one fell swoop, and it's funny, it's making me laugh, which is good because it raises my energy. So hopefully this take 2 will be a little more fascinating and interesting. But enough about me, let's talk D&D. Hey, I would love to talk about something that's developed that I kind of realized this morning. I was thinking about this before I started recording the video a little bit. I realized that I've really grown as a DM. And I'm going to explain what I'm talking about and why I think it's cool, and maybe how you might be able to find something from that as well for your game. So, last night, yesterday or Tuesday, we played our D&D game at the table. It's a small game. There's 3 guys and myself as the DM. And what a great session. It was a very relaxed session. It was cool. There was plenty of role-playing, dialogue, so forth. And a little more than halfway through the session, there was a development in the story where, like, they're in town and a sinkhole opens in town and they see some kids slide down in the sinkhole and their cart and everything, and now they've got to, like, rush to the aid of these kids, and they find out that there's, like, some kind of chamber underground, which is why the sinkhole opened, and so now they're going to go down and explore and see what's going on. Meanwhile, there's, like, some townspeople, like, trying to help out, and then there's others, like elders and of the town or whatever, that are kind of like, nothing to see here, we don't want to disturb the believers or the delvers rather, and this kind of thing. And so they're sort of like trying to push people away, while everybody else is like, we got to get those kids out, and so there's some intrigue happening with the townspeople. And what I got from this session, it was just a great session, because I sort of finally have realized, like, I just need to, like, sort of let go of the reins. I need to let the players play the game and tell the story. And the more I do that, it seems to me like the more fun I'm having and the more fun everybody's having. It's really counterintuitive. Because, rewind a bit to, like, DM Gregory a year or 2 ago, when I was first starting to DM, I've played for years and years, but playing the game and running the game are totally different animals. And I realized that I used to feel nervous and feel like it was my job to push the story, to fill all the spaces, and to always have something going on and happening or about to happen, or I don't even know what. I always felt like compelled to do or say or present more. Like more. That was kind of how I feel like I was acting as a DM. And I made this connection or realization or decision a few months ago to like back off and let the players have space. Like, create space for the players to interact and role play. And in the tabletop game, it's been great. And here's why. We're in person. We're actually sitting at a table with each other. We're in the same room. So it's a little easier for me to read the nonverbal cues, right? To see when there's to feel when there's those kind of awkward pause moments where I can present some new information or make a comment from one of the NPCs or so forth. I've found it's a little bit harder on Roll20, although I've been able to do that. But on Roll20, the games we're playing, like our Wednesday game, this is Agic, my D&D game Agic that you can see the videos on this channel. We're just doing voice chat, VoIP. We're using Discord right now. Sometimes we use Roll20, we use TeamSpeak, Hangouts. We've used a bunch of different platforms. For a while we were doing video, but it became kind of bandwidth intensive, and people were getting, we were getting these glitches, and it just wasn't a clean game for everyone, so we decided to just use audio. So we don't have this benefit of even like the facial recognition of these nonverbal cues. We're just like having a conversation, almost like we're on a phone call with each other. And so it's a little bit harder to read the room, so to speak. However, I've still been able to do that. I made a conscious choice to to give space for the players to fill in the story. I really want that to get better in my Wednesday games. So I'm going to focus a lot more on that and providing for more opportunities and encourage the players more to talk in amongst themselves. Probably what I'm going to start doing is asking questions, leading questions, not yes, no. So never, if you can avoid it, ask yes, no questions of your characters. Yes, no questions are too easy. All they have to do is say yes, no, or maybe, and that's the end of that. If you really want to get someone out of their shell, whether it's in real life or it's in your games, ask questions that need more of an answer. Like, ask questions like, what is your character feeling right now? Or what does your character think about what this other player or this other NPC just said or just did? That kind of stuff. Questions that are going to draw something out from the players. And maybe you ask each one of the players sort of in turn, like, what are you thinking? Okay, how about you? What are you thinking? Get them all to tell. I don't know. I'm going to try that. Maybe that's something that'll work for me, especially with, again, just the audio, just the voice communication. But in my game yesterday, man, what a great session. The guys were working together. They were communicating. They're all pretty fresh to the game. So what's really neat is they're sort of learning how, like when are they being meta, which is really cool. They're pretty conscious about it and not like what's the difference between player knowledge and character knowledge, and how do you actually role play that? So I'm so proud of these guys, man. I mean, they're playing a great game, and it's fun. Like it's a couple weeks that we've been doing this. They're starting to sink into their characters, and it just was great. I'm enjoying the NPC interactions now. For me, it's way more comfortable to be in the moment with these guys. And if I have to, I just let them know. I'm like, okay, I need a minute because Gregory is not familiar enough with this. Give me a sec to check my notes or check the book and read up or whatever I need to do. And then once I get that, I'm able to come back to the moment of just being present with these guys and letting the space be there for them. Just leaving it open. And only when there's a moment of what now? There was a moment of indecision where I could tell that there's a few leads that are rumors that these guys have heard, but it wasn't like they were like, we need to do that. There wasn't this decisive moment for them. They were sort of like, well, now what? And that was the moment I used to say, okay, well, there's this tremor. All of a sudden, you're walking in through town, and there's this tremor, and you notice everybody around you sort of seems to feel this, and then the sinkhole opens in the street in front of you, and these kids go sliding down. Help out! It created a moment of tension, and now there's something that they can focus on and deal with. And it was such a liberating and cool experience. As a DM, I'm realizing wow, I'm getting better. Isn't that cool? You can do it too. This is what I'm realizing and trying to share with you is as DMs, what I think a really important part of our role as a DM is to just create the space. Use your words to paint the picture and describe the environment, and then leave it out, like just put it out there for the players and let it go so that the players can then dig into it and move around and engage. So what's in my mind today about playing role-playing games. It's not just appropriate for Dungeons and Dragons. It is appropriate for any role-playing game that you're going to run, whether if you're the GM. And on a certain level, if you're a player, you can do the same thing. You create space. You allow the other players to role-play as well. Don't be a role-play hog, That's a simple rule of don't be a jerk at the table. An easy way to do that is when it's time, take the lead. Be the guy or the gal that steps up and talks and engages, and make sure that you're also listening and letting the other players have their moment in the limelight as well. So that's my thought for today. Wow, that was cool. I feel great about this and this development for myself. I'm really excited to see how that happens going forward. And hey, thanks for stopping in. I hope you have a wonderful day. Tell me about your games. I can't wait to hear about it. In the meantime, I'll see you at a table someday, and keep rolling 20s.